Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to learn how to add text to our web page with DS3. So, in order to do that, let's dive into the water. We are going to use the SVG and the append function, sorry. And in the append, we're defining what we are going to append. And next thing is the text, and let's uh, add some, I don't know, random text, trying to add text. Of course, closing that with a semicolon. Going back to our web page and refreshing it, and we see that again, like we saw with the lines, we cannot see the text that we added. So the text is over here. You can see that it's on the left top of my page, something over here, and that's obviously a problem. So let's take a quick look in our slide in here. We can see that the mandatory attributes for text is x and y, and we didn't give any x or y to our to our text element in here. So let's undo that quickly. Um, Adding, sorry, attr, and I'm copying that in here, getting the x and y, and let's update fixed x to be 500, something like that, and uh, we are giving to x the fixed x. I want it to be after the lines, and for y, I'm gonna say something like, I don't know, 500 or something like that. Let's save that and go back to our page, refresh it, and there you go. We have the text in here. You can see that it's behaving like normal text that we are familiar with. I mean, we have the text cursor, and we can select each word or letter or the entire text, but basically it's not a regular text. It's those are shapes, and because of that we can play with their angles and stuff like that. We will see that along the way. So let's go back and play a little bit more with the text, and let's try to play with its size. We can add font size, like that, font size to it, and let's say, I don't know, 50, and and for showing it a bit more, going to play with the attributes. I want to show you. Let me try to fix this to be more, okay, readable, and I'll change the text also to be 1, um, and this one will be 2, and this will be 3. Okay, and let's play a little bit more with our Y position, and let's say this is 5, and if we're giving the font size to be 500, this will be 55 and 600. Okay, saving that, going back to my page, refreshing it. Sorry, refreshing it. Okay, maybe we'll play a little bit more with that, and Let's change it to be 400, 450, and 500 like that. Maybe it will be more, okay, aligned with our lines. And now let's do some more modification. So as I mentioned before, um, text in DS3 in SVG are basically shapes. So let's try to play along with those text, but instead of playing like we've done over here with adding font attributes, let's try to add some attributes that we saw before in line, for example, or um, in a rectangle. So I'm gonna add a TTR to this first text. Let's add, you know what, let's add 2 in here. Let's add another 2. Oops, sorry. And over here, I'm gonna add 3. Okay, so first attribute I'm gonna use is stroke. Stroke. We saw that. Um, and let's say red, and obviously we need the stroke width. I mean, not obviously, but I'm going to use it. I would say 3. In here, I'm going to use fill. Fill with, let's say, dark green. And over here, I'm going to use um, stroke. Stroke, and I would say none. And in here, I'm going to use fill with dark orange and stroke. Sorry, stroke with dark orange. Let's say fill none and stroke width of 3. Saving that. Again, for text 1, I've added stroke red and stroke width 3. And okay, and over here I gave 3 attributes. Sorry, also 2 attributes. One for fill with dark green, and the other one is stroke with none. So that's the difference. We are gonna see what's going on in the page in a second, but and I'm gonna explain why I've done that. And over here, dark green for the stroke. The fill is none, so that's the opposite from here, but with orange and green. And the stroke with 3, so we can see that. So let's go back to our web page. So I didn't save it. Control S, back, refresh. Okay, so wow, what the hell is going on in here? So 1, 2, and 3. 1 is with let's take a look at the DOM instead of toggling. Okay, so 1 is with stroke red and stroke width of 3. You know what? Let's take it to 2 so we can see it more nice. Refresh. Okay, so 1, as I said, stroke red and stroke width 2. I didn't use the fill of none in this case, so the default filling is the one that we had before. We've done the stroke, we added the stroke over here, so it's black. That was the default. Let me show you that real quick. In here, refresh. Okay, you see it's black, and getting that back in here, refresh, and it's black. The filling is black. Over here at 2, we've added stroke none, fill of dark green, and we didn't use the stroke width because I'm not using any stroke to my text. So we just can see that the text is in green right now without any stroke around it. Very straightforward. And in this text in 3, I'm using stroke. I'm using stroke width, and I'm using fill none. So that's why we can see that in the filling of 3, we have nothing basically. If my Y position was around, let's say 200, you can see that right now it is above this rectangle, and you can see that behind the text where the rectangle is exist, I can see that the filling of 3 is red, but the upper part of the text is empty. Basically, it is white because our page background is white. So that's what giving you the I mean that's how we can see that the filling is basically empty. We have no filling. Let's refresh it back. Okay, one more thing that we can do. I mean, we've just played with the shapes attributes. Now there are a few more attributes. I mean, we can also play with the text attributes, and let's do it. For the first one, I mean, we can see that they're all starts in 500, which is the fixed x that we gave. So right now I'm gonna play with the anchor of the text, um, and let's see how we can do that. attr text anchor. Oops, sorry, like that. Let's copy it. Okay, so this one will be start, and this one will be middle, up, middle, and this one will be end. Saving that, going back, refresh, and we can see that we have 3 different positions for our text, but at the x and y, they are all using the same x value, uh, and we didn't done any change for that. The only thing that has been changed is the text anchor, start, middle, and end. So our conclusion for that is that x and y is x. I mean, at least x is over here at the bottom left of the text. It's supposed to be around here. Also for uh, 2, the x is over here, but since we're using middle, it moved to the middle of the x, and end moved 3 moved to the end, but still x is over here. So that's the conclusion for that, and that's how you can play with the anchor of the text. Another text attribute that we can use is the baseline. Change the baseline to be um, let's play with that. I'll show you. Um, it is called um, dominant baseline, and in here I'll use middle for all just to show. Okay, saving that and refresh. Okay, you saw that? It moved a bit down. And again, I didn't change my values of X and Y, but with the anchor and the baseline that we've changed, if I'll say start, for example, you saw that 2 moved. If I'll say end, okay, it didn't move. Middle again. Okay, so that's how we are playing with the baseline also. Just a small note, a little note, is for the dominant baseline. We saw the middle and also start before at the example, but there are another few attributes that you can play on the dominant baseline. You can align it middle as we saw. You can do that to the central, uh, a mathematical alignment, and you can do um, alphabetical alignment, sorts of alignments. I suggest to search that on Google. You probably gonna see that real quick. Okay, so let's go back to our code. We saw that for adding 3 words, basically, we used this amount of code, and that's okay, but it's also a waste. We can do that like we've done at our previous examples. We've added data according to our data array that we had before. So we can do that also in the text. And first thing we are going to do is to define a text array. And in the text array, I will use my words. In this case, it will be one, um, and 1, 2, of course, and sorry, 3, like that. Okay. Um, I'm gonna save that. I missed something. Yes. Okay, like that. I'm saving that. And now I'm gonna use something that is called tspan instead of our text in here. Um, we are doing it like that. Select all and tspan, text span basically, and we can add a data to it, and also enter and appending, yes, sorry, appending tspan. Like that, we can delete those 2 texts like that. And let me just verify that I've done everything. Okay. And now for the data, we are getting the text array. And of course, instead of adding 1, we are adding a function, sorry, that is getting D like before, and returning D as well, like that. Okay, let's take a quick look what we've got in here. So I'm refreshing it. Okay, we can see that we have, let's take a look at the DOM. We have text, but now it doesn't look like before. Um, it's a span of texts, and in here we can see the t-span for each one. Problem is that uh, we can see that it's the anchor is start, the dominant baseline is middle, the font size is 50, And in here we see 1, 2, and 3. The problem is that they all got the same location, x and y, same coordinates, and that's why those three texts are written one above the other. So let's play with that and fix that. Sorry, let's go back to our text. And instead of y, which is fixed 400, we can do a function getting dy, and in here returning 400 plus 50 times I, like that, semicolon, saving, and refresh. Okay, so now we have three texts, three words that we've got from here. We can do it even, with more um, texts. Let's say, um, I don't know, hello, save that, refresh, and we've got also hello below that. Okay, pretty simple. Um, and that's how we can do that. If I'll write something more longer in here and refresh it, okay, no problem, like that. Okay, those are three words, okay, but in one sentence. So it goes in one tspan. Let's take it back to be nicer without the fourth element. Refresh it, and okay, that's basically it. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you. Goodbye.